Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn, and I have my twin flame, the abbreviated twin flame read on the table, as well as 2 messages of the day. There's a lot of other in-between messages that have come up since the 9th, right? We had the 9/9 portal and the 9/11 came up. There's been a lot of anger and extreme fear energy coming up. You may be feeling that from the collective and or your twin if you're a twin flame. And I want to get right into it because there's so much to cover here. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths. I'm going to hit the gong here. We're bringing my bowl out C, which can bring out different tones here. Just feel into it. Take a few deep breaths. Just go with the different tones, it's okay. Take one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is a perfect day here. It's sunny and cool. Definitely the air of fall. And wow, like crazy energy, because really ecstatic, beautiful energy. And at the same time, like I said, extreme fear, like being paralyzed by fear coming up. So on the 9th was the 9/9 portal. And I did Jen McCarty's meditation with the group, and that was very cool because as she usually has people come into a circle in the meditation in different scenarios, and this time I was guided not to follow the guidance and go into the circle, but go into the center. And as she brought in the white flame, I literally lit up in the white flame and shot up straight up to source energy like a dart. And at the exact same time, a big clap of thunder happened, and it was the beginning of a big storm here that night. And the same thing happened to me when I was with Mercedes Kirkle in the south of France, because she does a baptism at the end of the week for the retreat. And when she went to baptize me, where the salt water meets the fresh, that's where the baptism took place. As she went to baptize me at the end of the week, there was one thunderclap. Nothing else. The storm never happened, but one thunderclap came in. So it was kind of like a full circle moment for me, and that was back in 2017. And anyway, it ended up being a really beautiful meditation. There was more for me that came up that was very powerful. The 10th. So on the 10th, it was about 7:47 that evening. I went outside, and it was very cloudy sky, but there was a keyhole in the clouds. It's kind of like the shape of an 8, like there's 2 sections. And I asked to see a ship, because we keep being told that we're going to see more and more of the ships coming around to get people comfortable with the fact that there are ETs out there. So I just looked up at the clouds, and there was this perfect hole, and I asked to see a ship. And I just looked up at the sky, and I had my camera, of course, and I wasn't necessarily expecting anything, but all of a sudden I saw a light streak on the left, like a shooting star, very much in the distance, so, very far. And after that, because I was so excited that I actually got a message back, because I saw a streak of light, right? It wasn't necessarily a ship, but a streak of light. But then what happened, I watched Sam, the illusionist, the next day in his report, which talked about the green comet, which I had no idea about. I hadn't been listening to the news, because I don't usually. But he was talking about the green comet that they were saying was a comet was actually Ashtar Command, which had come up in my Instagram the day before his report. It just came up in the Instagram report. So you can check my Instagram for that. I think it was on the 9th. So again, it was confirming that because Ashtar Command came up for me, and then he was saying the green comet was not a comet. It was actually Ashtar Command showing their presence. So that was very interesting. And then on the 11th, I wanted to do a meditation in my front yard and do it on a speaker, right? So the message is getting out to the neighborhood. If anyone wants to come by and join us, they can. And I was hoping there'd be 3 of us, but it was just my daughter and I, which was fine. And so we went and did a spiritual acceleration clearing with Bonnie Saratori out on the lawn, which was really cool. And it was, for me, it's just wonderful to do that kind of thing with my daughter because she's very busy all the time. So for me to be able to get her to slow down and do a meditation with me is amazing. So that came up. And prior to that meditation we did on the 11th, when I got up in the morning to do my stretches out back with Teddy, I had posted Beyond the Universe, the song, with my Instagram. And I was listening to that, and it was just really lifting up my heart. And I was doing a balletic dance outside, just when you feel like that. And I was just dancing around the deck to the sun, praising the sun to Beyond the Universe, which was just an amazing energy. And then the sun started dancing with me. It was flickering. There was all clouds, and just the sun was peeking through the clouds. The rest of the sky was all filled with it. And I did get some video of it afterwards, but not the flickering of the sun while it was literally dancing with me. And I was very ecstatic at the time, very happy and light and free like a child. So I wanted to tell you about that too, because that came right after I saw the flash in the sky the night before. Then my daughter and I did that meditation, and it ended up being 1:11 to 1:55. And we did the meditation for 9/11 because we knew the collective energies would be tough this weekend because of 9/11. And when we did the meditation, a blue jay was in the tree above us, and he started squawking out. There was a couple other birds too, and the crows. They all started squawking when we started our meditation, and they did leave the tree that we were meditating underneath. But the blue jay was very significant because when we did my parents' thing in Oregon, after my mother passed, and we spread their ashes, literally the stellar jays came by the service with us when we were distributing their ashes in the water stream. There were 2 different stellar jays that came up during the ceremony representing my mother and my father because we distributed both of their ashes together there. So the blue jay came up again, and I always talk about the tree in my front yard as my mom because it looks like my mother in a certain position that I have told you guys about before, but I'm not going to go into that again. But again, that energy of my parents being around and the birds leaving the tree for us to do the meditation was kind of cool. And as I was doing the meditation with my daughter, I definitely felt some surges from the tree. And it was kind of hard because actually that specific video from YouTube has commercials on it. So it wasn't fully flowing for me because I had to keep turning the ads off. But I'll have to do one or the other. Not all of them have ads all the way through, so I'll have to change that next time I do that. But anyway, it was just beautiful energies. And then there was really kind of angry energies that came up and really scared energies. And I'll get into some of those as I go through the reads. So let's start with the read on the table, which is the Twin Flame read. It's my abbreviated one with just the SIRIAN Starseed deck and the mini Rider-Waite on top. And let's roll the die first, and then I'll show you that picture as well. So let's see here. I saw too the Canadian side of Niagara. It was coming up as I was like at a beach but with gardens, like the ideal scenario. But it was bringing up the Canadian side of Niagara Falls because there's a lot of beautiful flowers over there. And Teddy even faced his fears this weekend because usually I can't get him to go out back if it's raining out because he gets really scared of the thunder and lightning. But he actually went out at night when it was raining with me a little bit and stayed out there with me. I think he was really, really proud of himself as well. So let's get into this first read. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, that when I saw that when I was in the white flame and it shot straight up and the thunderclap happened, it was right at 4 o'clock on the dot. And I was also getting the blanketing of the ocean surface being like in the middle grid, right? So that the etheric grids and then the under earth grids, and then this blanketing of the surface of the ocean as being the center point, or that balanced place in balancing the waters. So let's go ahead and roll the dice, see what comes up for them. Let's put these eggs over here. So today is September 14th, 2023, and I posted the Four of Wands or Four of Lasers card today. And today is also that 14 of the Temperance card. And actually September 14th is when I married my kid's dad. So there's definitely that marital union, home kind of energies there. So September 14th, 2023, for the twin flames here. We have Pisces here, which is again 2 circles, right? The opposite of the pie, where the pie is the 2 C's facing each other, and then here's the 2 C's away from each other and then tied by a cord here. So again, Pisces is 1 foot in one world and 1 in the next. It's that leap from one dimension to the next as well. So Pisces comes up here. We also have the 9, which is Virgo. We're in Virgo right now. It's also the Hermit, the Wise One, the One in the All energy, compassion. All of that comes up under the 9. The 9 is a time for endings, to let things go that no longer serve. It's not a time to push forward. And then we have the symbol for Jupiter, which looks like the number 4. So Jupiter is Sagittarius, and very benevolent energies there. So we have Sagittarius and Virgo, which are both mutables, the messengers. And then we have Libra here. Oop, it's not supposed to be Libra. It's supposed to be Pisces in the middle, which are actually all in Libra. I guess I think Libra is coming up too, because Virgo Libra is the center of the astrological chart. So that's coming up as well. But it was the Pisces, not the Libra. But both of those obviously are coming up here, and they both have that duality to them, right? The balance of the scales, and then the balance of the fish, and the 2 worlds. So we have 3 mutables here, right? So very mutable, very flowing, perhaps a lot of messages today. And but the Gemini is the only mutable not here. So it's not specifically about verbal communication. It's about nonverbal communication and messages. So that's kind of cool, the way that came up. All right, so let's see where that goes. So this is the read on the table. Again, the SIRIAN Starseed deck are the big cards, and then the Rider-Waite Mini for the clarifiers. And this was done at 2:56 on the 9th. And the 2 is the feminine, the higher self, the duality, but also the mediation, both sides of it. The 56 is the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing, keeping your energy clear, but also avoiding things, right, for peace of mind. So we finished clarifying here at 4:46 to 47, which that was interesting because the 7:47 energy came up around the time I saw the streak of light in the sky. The major arcana in this read were Reflection, which is the Hermit, Indigo, which is the Magician, and there's that Gemini energy, and then the Chariot, which is Cancer. There's 1 Wand, 2 Cups, 2 Swords. The 3 Pentacles came up. So we have 12 and 23, which is the Hanging Man, and the King of Wands, and Wisdom of this year, of again balancing the masculine ego this year with the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups, all in the read. All right, so a lot of players there, 3 Queens and the King of Pentacles. And before the read is the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups, and after the read, the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Cups. All right, so a lot of people there. We have triple ones, as well as double 2s, 3s, and 5s. So a very heavy emphasis on new beginnings with the triple 1s. And then 22 of the Fool, 33 is the Christ vibration, and the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself, taking the high ground. The 55 of the Ace of Swords, of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and triumph. And then in a lesser sense, the number 8 also came up, doing the dance between the masculine and feminine of manifesting dreams as opposed to just survival. 1, 2, 3 jump also comes up here, as well as the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 23 of the King of Wands, and the 35 of the Wounded Warrior. So again, victim mentality. The code line had no numbers associated with it. Perhaps there was a 5 energy, which is the middle road again. But after death of the Hanging Man, so that's the energy of Jesus on the cross there, reflecting and creating, seeking twin, to say support. And again, there's that energy of verbally saying support as opposed to just supporting. The Hermit's reflection from sage to sage in energetic exchange, or the arrows of love, of the crystal cave. ADH also came up in the code line there, which is, and also H, which is hydrogen, and Henry's. Hamiltonian came up, as well as high tone, hits, heroin, half year, Hindu, and the darker kind of pencil lead. The holiness code source, and in Japanese the H means pervert, sexual pornographic in Chinese, and the note B in music. And then the word HFIEF came up, but I only found it with the VHVI. Either which way, it was the closest spelling to the sound that was coming up in the code line, but it means to become light or foolish or light and easy. Samasta also came up, which is the same, or the sky and the heavens, breath, rest, top, indifference, equality, downriver, catfish, toward, to lean on, to rest the head, level, like, impartial, mixing, combining, living together, or included in a group. Or not even, an evil or fault and bad luck, resentment, shareholders, crocodile, water, and also Samastua came up with to identify with or relate to. So adding half year or 5-ring hydrogen bonding, dipole to dipole attraction, intermolecular force or IMF, when a hydrogen atom bonded to a strongly electronegative atom exists in the vicinity of another electronegative atom with a low pair of electrons. The bond is greater than the ordinary dipole to dipole with dispersion forces, but weaker than the true covalent and ionic bonds. Also, after death, hydrogen 5-membered rings, seeking twin, impartial shareholder, or level, when living together or undivided in a group. To identify or twin identify with post-death of being without the ring of the hydrogen bond, reflecting the hermit sage to sage or wisdom to wisdom, queen to queen, in energetic exchange, the arrows of love that are Christ-like, or both crying in order to stall, or in their own rooms, or going to their separate corners in order to purge. Also, after death, add the holiness code, digamma, which is that twin flame energy, 2 gamma waves. IV seeks the twin flame heavenly and impartial when reflecting of hermits, sage to sage, the energetic exchange or hours of love of being Christ-like in that higher love, or 2 queens arguing at work perhaps, or both crying in separate rooms, yet at the same place. After death, to become the light and easy or foolish, carefree, seeking the twin flame to lean on, to live together and or include in a group and be impartial. And that was at 5:55, so big changes there. We start with the Two of Wands, which is the twin flames, at 5:56. Again, that Two of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. And that can sometimes be keeping your eyes closed so you don't see, so that you can keep peace of mind, to both sides of the same coin. So below the Two of Wands is Karma reversed, which is the Judgment card, as well as the Knight of Wands upright, the Hanging Man reversed, Five of Cups upright, and the Page of Cups reversed. The Eight of Swords reversed was prior to the first card in the underlying energy. So there's this release or reversed karma, poor judgment, holding back an announcement, or needing to swallow your pride or their pride, as the Knight of Wands is awakened to sadness, regret, or rejection, or their twin flame, with immature emotions, or a child who is shy or withdrawn, or over-emotional, or spoiled and entitled, and given an ultimatum, or must choose a new path. Perhaps the King of Cups is detoxing and released, which wasn't a good idea, as the Knight of Wands is upright, picking them up, only to see or realize they are still sad, or regretful, or crying like a baby over rejecting their twin flame. As the Sun and the Moon are both reversed here, drained at day and up all night, or crazy kids or pets, no sunshine, or stuck inside from before dawn, as the wounded warrior surrenders or gives up to assess their worth with the King of Swords upright, an air sign or professional, Aquarius reversed, or Pisces or Capricorn reversed, with Leo, Cancer reversed, and Sagittarius upright here. Or the Knight of Wands' ego makes the Page of Cups reversed feel sad, feeling burned and or deceived, or giving or given an ultimatum. Depression or arrogance, a need to heal, as the Emperor's upright with a reputation to uphold but feeling weak, or Aquarius and Leo both reversed, may tarnish his good name. As Aquarius, Leo, and Cancer were really negative energies that day. This was on the 9th. Aquarius, Leo, and Cancer, both of their cards that represent those energies were reversed. As the Emperor may have diabetes or foot issues or circulation issues, or can't stand on his feet all day anymore, or a fire sign is outshining them, making them look weak, or perhaps the Emperor upright must come out of retirement and get back in the saddle, or now they can't retire and they're depressed. As Aries is upright and the King of Swords is upright, probably Libra or Virgo right there, as the Queen of Swords reversed may be Aquarius. The recent past is the King of Pentacles reversed, perhaps Capricorn reversed, covered by the Knight of Wands upright, willing to travel, or covered when out of town, or couldn't close, as needing closure here, or the world is just upside down, grounding and integrating on how to receive kindness, or be kind to the Queen of Wands reversed and the Empress reversed, who may be ignoring them, or apathetic to their cause, or unwilling to help out, stressed out, or can't sleep, as the Knight of Pentacles upright is getting help from the Hermit, or going to see a professional for advice, or to value something. As Saggy and Virgo are upright, Pisces and Taurus reversed between, as the foundation of the Queen of Swords reversed, out in the cold with kids, or in a lover's spat at 6:53, which is the Lovers and the Knight of Swords, the Messenger of Truth, as Aquarius is reversed, or Aquarius may be in the Queen of Swords' chart, or two lawyers here, and the Queen of Swords reversed may be getting pissed off that the King of Swords is not taking action, or perhaps responding to them, and that could be that Gemini energy. Perhaps sick and must make a decision, perhaps children are not helping, or two with bad memories of childhood or homelessness, as the central energy is the Ace of Cups reversed, and pushed to the emotional limit, in awakening or unable to sleep and triggered easily, perhaps dumped on or just feeling like you're in the dumps, overwhelmed as the King of Wands reversed may not be sharing that he's leaving or left. So again, remember, when you're feeling difficult energies, it may be your twin reacting to something. So remember that, in addition to the collective energies and your own. Awakened to lying, cheating, or stealing of X, or left without telling to get their stuff back that X had taken from them, or a big realization here that he was stealing the Hermit's affections or energies. Physician, heal thyself. As Virgo was upright here, Pisces or Capricorn and Gemini were reversed, perhaps a pet needs to be put down, and I'm sorry if that's the case. We all love our pets very much. The challenge being the Hermit or Virgo, losing patience but pleased with themselves, or tired of the Knight of Swords' truth or deliveries coming in. With Saggy and Scorpio both reversed here, and I wouldn't want to deal with that. The challenge being reflecting the light, or Saggy and Scorpio pleased with themselves getting the Knight of Swords to do all the work, or people around the Hermit getting overwhelmed by their energies, but the Hermit's in positive energies here, and it may trigger them if they're in a lower energy. So now here's the Queen of Pentacles upright, perhaps prideful, defending her stance or her screw up, or knocked over the King of Pentacles reversed in an argument. The Queen of Pentacles is upright, standing firm, and dropping the juggling act with delay after delay, or perhaps the King of Pentacles is causing delays on purpose to aggravate her. With the King of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, suddenly committed to a partnership with High Priestess or Sister, or Scorpio Taurus with Pisces in a Two of Cups relationship, and Capricorn in their chart perhaps, as the King of Pentacles reversed may be frustrated and blowing his top, perhaps with a leader, religious leader, or Taurus partnering, or in an agreement with the High Priestess, Sister, or aide or nurse who may be detoxing someone here, or maybe detoxing themselves. As the Knight of Cups reversed, and or rejecting new information from or to the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups reversed could be someone jealous or trying to schmooze their way through something, it could be someone who feels rejected. There could be marital mediation here as well between the King of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright. Perhaps one kid is siding with each of them, or the King of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed are getting dumped on. That could be a new girlfriend as well, or that could be his lawyer, getting dumped on by the Queen of Pentacles upright, or she's rejecting a choice of two paths that he's given. And soon here's the Queen of Cups reversed, who had offered the Ace of Wands, which was rejected, or she being told she's behaving like a child, or the Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups both reversed here are mother and child, or perhaps siblings. One may be very creative, and the other may be very good at administrative things or truth-telling, or triumphant in battle or competition. Or in the past, they used their passion and creativity, but it may have been in a negative way since they're coming up as reversed. But now they're pulling their sword out, or maybe they were really positive and loving before, but people were abusing them, so now they're pulling their sword out and they mean business now. As the Queen of Cups reversed and or Page of Cups reversed, and that could be the same person as well, maybe telling the whole truth to the group, or the team won, but the Page of Cups reversed didn't get to play, and then they're out to celebrate, and then back to work right away, or school, or any place of co-creation. Thank God it's Friday came up, and free with the sun at their back, or unable to conceive, or failed a test, or didn't get in, unable to conceive, but willing to try again. So there was good news, they could take it again. As the twin flames are indigo reversed, a proposal may be rejected or never happened, or the Queen of Swords reversed is Gemini in their energy, with delusions of grandeur, or confused with too many options. Perhaps the kid in the candy store, or perhaps a mouthy kid, or a negative self-talk, or rumors going on at 7:30, which is the Chariot and the home. And that's the home and the car, the most valuable things most people own. So we have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords both reversed. We have the Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups both reversed, which is a mother and child energy. Or are these two friends dealing with their own immature inner children here? Perhaps sad being given a choice to take it or leave it and not changing their mind about presents or about a gift for the Page of Swords reversed, or dealing with gifting for kids. A child could get cut out of an inheritance here as well, or perhaps they just got kicked out of their house. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Chariot reversed, with injustice, insecurity, manipulation, powerlessness, dependence, spending, or dependence and spending, as Gemini, Libra, and Cancer, and perhaps Virgo as well, were all reversed right here. In a painful ending or ending pain, or perhaps got severely hurt in a car accident, or perhaps I actually just heard about a a um, a holdup too. So there's definitely some weird stuff that came up this past weekend. 741 is the Chariot and the Ace of Cups. In a breakup, a breakdown, a break in, out, or through, or in court, or perhaps someone bought a lemon, or their trip may have been canceled. The block here is the Ace of Swords upright, with the King of Cups upright, the Ten of Cups reversed, and the Ten of Wands upright. The truth is the King of Cups upright, which is also unconditional love, with the Ten of Cups family reversed, perhaps with a difficult family or a lot of hard work to take care of them when they're never satisfied. And then 755 is the Chariot and the Truth, the Ace of Swords, with the Three of Pentacles, or workplace or school, place of co-creation. That could be church as well. Healing, a disappointment or heartbreak or overwork, not working, with the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community. And again, here we have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles playing off of each other, which is that the energy of the Montagues and the Capulets, right? Where the Montagues wealthy family here is coming up upright and the Ten of Cups coming up reversed. Perhaps the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Pentacles upright, right? Here we have Romeo and Juliet, right? So Juliet's the Page of Cups reversed and Romeo's the Page of Pentacles from the Pentacles family. Or this could be an opportunity or invite to the Queen of Cups reversed at home in a heated exchange destined to release, or the first pitch of the season. Clearly no longer comfortably numb, with new information that may knock them off balance. Of the Three of Cups upright, of coming together in joy, with the King of Swords upright and the Queen of Wands reversed, having to face the King of Cups upright, withholding from them, perhaps time, money, and effort, as the King of Cups reversed may be burdened by the Ten of Cups reversed since the Truth came up. So let me see where that King of Cups is upright. So I didn't mean to write that reverse. So he's actually upright there. But the King of Cups is the King of Cups is that great parent, right? He's emotionally controlled. He knows how to wear his heart on his sleeve when he needs to. But he's feeling burdened by this Ten of Cups family since the Truth came out. And again, this could be about children who they don't think should be together. And then we have the Knight of Wands upright with the Page of Cups reversed, awake and sad about this ultimatum, or perhaps twin flames, as the Queen of Swords reversed is coming up as the Indigo reversed, broken with the King of Pentacles reversed, or blocking them, as the King of Pentacles reversed may be overwhelmed or triggered. And now we have the leaders, right? So we have the Ten of Pentacles family is upright, but the King of Pentacles leader is reversed. Whereas on the cup side, the Ten of Cups is reversed, but the King of Cups is upright within that family, right? So there's some disparaging energy and incongruent energy, right, within the families in both sides. The challenge being the Hermit upright and the Queen of Cups reversed, perhaps a Virgo, but who's in sad emotions, or she could be someone who's depressed, or could be someone who drinks too much or is manipulative as well. But she's coming up as in her truth about or to the Queen of Pentacles upright at work or school, perhaps them and their kids with issues, or the Page of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups reversed from the Ten of Pentacles family and the Ten of Cups reversed family living together. And again, like I said, the families don't like it. Or the Queen of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups reversed may be dealing with their childhood issues, or arguing at work or school, or any place they co-create together. Perhaps the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords are both reversed as well. Maybe another family in the mix, right? This can represent three mothers and their children with issues between each other, or this can represent the three women dealing, maybe they were friends from childhood with issues here. Perhaps Gemini and Scorpio or Cancer reversed have issues here with the Queen of Pentacles, who's upright, perhaps is split with the King of Pentacles reversed, right, the Queen and the King of Pentacles, or siblings and their spouses here, or those who work at their business. Perhaps there's a family business with the King of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright. Arguing or delays, heated debate with new information about the Three of Cups gathering of the King of Swords upright and the Queen of Wands reversed, as I lost my voice with the King of Swords there. Facing the King of Cups and needing a breakthrough, with the King of Pentacles reversed giving a choice or ultimatum to the Page of Cups reversed, with the Queen of Swords reversed triggered by the Queen of Pentacles and challenged by the Hermit's light, perhaps guidance, and yet keeping their distance, because maybe the guidance or the Hermit is triggering them because of their high vibration, but it's good. Like they have to get triggered and go away and heal that before they can come back again and get healed again. So Indigo reversed, and then the Page of Swords reversed may be upset, with the Queen of Cups reversed blocking the truth or accidentally telling the truth at work or school. Perhaps the Page of Cups reversed wasn't supposed to tell the group, causing a heated exchange about the news of coming together or party at work or a small business, maybe joining with a bigger company or being taken over, or maybe a wealthy family is buying them out to help them or support them, as the King of Swords upright with the Queen of Wands reversed may be at war with the King of Cups upright, who may be withholding or a groundbreaking plant. So the King of Pentacles, or the King of Cups may be a plant inside their world. At 8:57, which is the dance of the separation or heartbreak with the Three of Swords. So I watched Field of Dreams after that, which was great. I hadn't seen it in so many years, and I definitely teared up at the end. But there was some interesting energy that was coming up in it. Right, build it and he will come. And again, that was first Joe Jackson. And Joe Jackson in the movie was his father's hero, but was then seen by the son as a criminal, right? And then Ray Kinsella was also, that was the person who owned the farm, was Ray Kinsella. So again, that energy of Ray and constellation was coming up there in association with that. But within the Field of Dreams, there was a quote I had to write down. There comes a time when all the cosmic tumblers have clicked into place, and the universe opens itself up for a few seconds to show you what's possible. And that was by Terrence Mann, who was also part of the movie. To go the distance. The Moonlight Graham was, remember in the movie, Moonlight Graham was the one who did want to play ball, but now was a doctor. And he ended up crossing outside of the baseball park to go back to being a doctor again. And Spirit's connecting with me. Moonlight Graham, Archibald, died in 1972. He had become a doctor after the miners. And then in the movie, literally I saw 72 on a car plate. And then in the movie, the hitchhiker was the young ball player, Archie Graham, who was the older doctor. So that was a cool energy of transformation there, right? Always, maybe he was destroyed his whole life because he never got to play ball, but became a doctor. And now he gets a chance to play ball again, only to realize that becoming a doctor was his higher calling. And so we get into the next message. And this, I am going to give you this message because I think there were some important messages in this one. So this was just the Fortune's Oracle with the Rider-Waite clarifiers here. Okay. So the left is the underlying energies, and I've just pulled 3 cards with the 1 extra card that wanted to come out. So this was on the 10th at 12:51 to 52, which is the King and Queen of Swords, and hanging out, the 12. The underlying energy of birth, and then the 18 of Lovers Romance resonant, the 22 of the Mountain, and 5D stationed, the 7 of the Cracker, and the 15 key, the Boomerang Fireworker or Fireworks. the skeleton key to all of it. The heart key that fits in, you notice the keyhole is the shape of a feminine, right? It has the circle at the top and then the dress shape of the feminine. The Fool's in love in the chariot with the key. The birth of lovers. Birth is B earth of L over S. The lambda or lambda father over Sophia sine wave. Sophi, Sophia, in human connection. The L at the right, the left at the right angle over weaving south and north. So there's the vertical and horizontal pillars as well. The 18 of Chai at, and then 10-8 comes up there, of 18 less 4, which is 14 at the new moon, which is, I forgot about that. So the new moon is today, I believe, in Virgo. And that energy through the 22nd, or the rest of Virgo, I suppose, with scepter. Remember, September is the 9th month, but it's sept, which is 7. And the Ides of March, which is 3. And the 7 and the 3 is the 73 of the lovers out in the cold, that 5 of Pentacles. But it's the reflection of the 37, which is that King of Cups who kept coming up in the first read. The birth of the lovers causes a crack in the mountain. So here that could be an earthquake or right, or a mountain erupting, which also earthquake came up in the messages yesterday as well. So the birth of the lovers here, because if you understand the twin flames, high vibrational love energy, if they come together in sequence, as in like a big boomerang sequence or the domino effect, boomerang is a transmutation of a negative energy there, may cause a crack in the mountain, which lets the light in, remember, in which to insert the key. The crystalline core, perhaps an earthquake, the heart to crown energy, the 4 to 7 of September 14th or even the September 18th to the 22nd was coming up, and the 18th is my birthday. So that last few days of September, or excuse me, of Virgo season, and the key on the journey to the center of the earth. B, earth, birth. The bliss of rendering defenselessness. No need for excuse, fully charged and exposed as the sun comes out, as the sun had just flickered outside and it had been raining all morning. The bliss-charged sun of early September and the underlying energy of the release of a wave, a heat wave, rendering you still to see another way, to bring justice, truth, balance, and alignment to fully empowered magician, the magician of magic, the MA of mother, the G of God, the IC of the inner child, the mother God inner child, I and 1. And then the E in IAN means I am, carefully attentive, 1. Manifesting without implementing a path quite yet, while grounding and integrating, and the love coming in. The key to receive the grail offered to commence with the sun and commune with the sun. A little love goes a long way when perfectly satisfied to sit on the fence with no need for defense or defense. The X cues with no need to choose one side over the other here. As the first card out then was the 10 of the energy of that day, it was the 10th, with fire, letting go of the upheaval to embrace the renewal of the present. After all, upheave all is heavenly, to embrace the MB race, or R the ace, the 1. To co-create, which is the M is the symbol for me for co-creation, the 1v1. To be our one, B, Ray, C, and there's that energy of Field of Dreams with Ray coming up. Ray Cancella, literally Ray, and then the C arc was coming up here, which the 1 is the C, right? Because the arc of energy between the 2 dots. The seal or arc of the covenant of the ark, The active cove here, the beach and cave of the ark, the whispering bench where land meets sea at 127, which is the masculine energy in the Magician, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, that new passion, the flame, the Queen's Gambit, and the Vesica Pisces comes up with the number 27. And a bonfire here, a good fire, digamma fire, the twin flames, IR, I reference, destined 31, the thorns, and the light just flickered right there. The 31 of the thorns in the chaos of life, burning wood here, crosses and fences, for a whole new world. The 3 and the 1 equals the horizontal bird flying of the 3 and the vertical pillars. The intersection where you can make a right turn after left to lambda or lambda father leap before starting at 1 again. Through October 31st, which is Hallows Eve, emptying within to fill with source energy. Destined bonfire for home and union, and that's interesting too because I posted our house is a very, very fine house with the home card today. Destined bonfire for home and union, celebration for the 9 of Wands wounded warrior, keeping out the undesirables. And I was just getting Les Mis right there. Triggering them when the wounded warrior should be surrendering instead to allow the fire to burn out or allow your good fire to burn out before taking on others. As the 6 of Wands leads the way with good news, leaving the thorny crown behind to be the constant gardener, or show others how to build their worth, how to invest, how to retire, or what to do with all this junk, saving for a rainy day, or to weather the challenges ahead for a bright future in each present moment at 138, which is the masculine energy of the Magician and the leap, to the 38 of the Queen of Cups. The war is over, or victorious perhaps. Let's see where we are and assess our worth. The 14 of Judgment of the Good Book, the Bon Bon by Edgar Allan Poe, a wake-up call to the binding of the pages. Oh, that's so interesting. Because in the show I was watching last night, he owns a bookstore, and he was literally tearing one book's pages out and binding it into another binding because of a signature page that was done. So literally tearing out all the pages in order to bind them back together in a different way. But Bon Bon by Edgar Allan Poe, a wake-up call to the binding of the pages. The core that all pages are attached to, pressed together, and stiff like a tree. And that's so funny because they showed him putting this book back together, and the last thing he does is press the book. And stiff like a tree and its leaves. A lack of peace due to distorted thoughts, and therefore emotion, as the Queen of Swords presents her words, satisfying the Knight of Wands rushing in to hear them, to find happiness within self from a distance, to meditate or offer time, money, and effort towards Broken Hearts Club, or to master the hidden house in the pursuit of happiness, or perhaps a hurt Taurus, marriage, or societal norms, the institution in conflict, or battling with the Empress reversed, the Devil reversed. Perhaps she is detoxing, lack consciousness, or detoxing after a marriage or separation, or after having a child perhaps, or divorce, or lack of love from mainstream traditions, guidance, or all boys club. With Leo upright and Leo very reversed right there, and we have Sagittarius, Taurus, Capricorn, Gemini, all with upright and reversed energies going back and forth, or that can represent two different people. As Capricorn, Libra, and Sagittarius may be wounded or on guard, or left out in the cold triggered, or locked out, uninvited, or locking someone else out, dumped, or lost a home or homeless, as good news comes in while assessing what's left or their worth, or taking a collection, build it, and they will come. Patience with decisions, loss of patience, and judgmental perhaps, as the Queen of Swords invites Leo or fire to come over to meditate, or sleep over perhaps, to manifest a new life after a disappointment or heartache, with guidance or religion, or in conflict with the church over a divorced woman or mother with no love loss here at 240, the feminine or higher self energy, and the 40 of the Page of Cups. So it could be an issue too between that Queen of Cups and Page of Cups, mother and child. So at 240, which is the feminine and higher self energy again, and the Page of Cups, the most innocent energy in the deck, is the 21 of the moon, escorted by the stars. So 21 is actually the world, so we're including the Earth and the moon here. And any ships out there, right, that are as big as the moon, escorted by the stars. With Pisces and Cancer, or mother and daughter, Sovereign and Page of Wands, and the Queen of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, perhaps curious to grieve or purge sadness and regret, in a bold move to ascend, travel, move, or create movement. Mothers and daughters, or sons, Earth and Fire with Cancer too, or Cancer can't come because they're on the road, or coming full circle, or the neighborhood rounds, and patience to slow down, the hourglass and the sands of time, after the King of Cups reversed with the Six of Cups reversed, right? So him and his children may be having a falling out, or they're just unhappy grieving something, or is this his own negative childhood, or a falling out in the past, or past life stuff coming back to haunt him? Stealing from the Page of Swords upright, or cutting out those who would lie, cheat, or steal, or not get along, be detached or depressed, or drunk, or one who did a drive-by and apologizes for running away, or hurting the Queen of Cups upright now here, as the light just brightened, or how to advertise to the right market, or issues between the King of Cups reversed and the Queen of Cups upright, and not wanting that kind of energy while working, or aligning to let go and make amends. Or the King of Swords may be slowing down, or in a twist of fate here, as the Queen of Wands upright is slowing down with Omega and enlightenment, or infinite patience, as Cancer is upright and Libra reversed. Perhaps merry energies here. Looking ahead, being present after a death or an ending, the Page of Cups upright with a secret passion, or perhaps is telling their secrets, but they're upright here. Present with Scorpio reversed and innocent Pisces reversed, or puppy love, coming together at work or school, or to create with the Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue to share with others, frustrated, hurt, or uninspired to go within and walk into that good night at 301, which is the Empress and the Magician. So let's see here. So for whatever reason, I was listening to something and it got me to go back into my business name, Twin Flame 3344, and the numbers it came out to be. So the word twin, or the phrase twin flames, twin is 21 and flames is 20, which equals 41, which is the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. And that's twin flames with an S on the end of it. So without the S on the end of it, it's 40 instead. And then 33 is 6 and 44 is 8, which is 68 of the Page of Pentacles, which is that perpetual student of life. And the 6 and 8 add to 14, which is the angelic energy, which also reflects the 41 of the Ace of Cups of twin flames. So there's that energy of the 41 and the 14, the one for all and all for one, the Ace of Cups and the Temperance card. And that energy of that higher love was coming up there. NFL is also coming up, but not for football. NFL is coming up as newfound love, or to love, new to NFL to love, and it can reference someone in the NFL, but also can represent to Christed fluid love. The Christ Digamma League was also coming up because capital N for me is code for Christ. And then there was a downpour, 411. It was all of a sudden the rain just downpoured, and this was on the 10th. And then by the 15th, which is tax day, 4/15, the rain just went completely silent. I was listening to on Next Level Soul, Larrick Ebank was on, and I just remembered him saying, use your God breath. This is someone who'd been in a coma for 3 months. And again, trying to come back into your body. Remember to use your God breath. That's that deep belly breath. So, and this is the night, right? So the night of the 10th, 7:47 to 48 is when I saw that shooting star in the sky when I asked to see a ship. And then the next day, it wasn't until the next day that I heard Sam saying that the green lights or the comets they're reporting is actually the Ashtar Command ship. So let's see here. So the 10th to the 11th here, I had done a clearing energy when I went to bed that night before the 11th when I did the clearing with my daughter on the front lawn. And it was really interesting because I was going under and under the wounds, which then I did again yesterday not yesterday, but the day before. No, it was yesterday because I went to get my license picture taken yesterday. And so much anxiety came up and I wasn't afraid to get my picture taken. I don't necessarily like my picture because I'm not very photogenic, but I wasn't afraid of it. But this intense fear as I went to the office to get the picture taken. And so when I got home, I went under that layer to see what else was coming up. What was the initial wound regarding that? So first, the night before when I was doing this, it was taking me to my waist injury. So when I fell at work back in 2013, I fell on the steps and I fell on my right SI joint, but I also jammed severely everything into my waist on that side. And right in the middle of my back is also a birthmark, which I'd seen that past life of I was a boy in the Nazi camps and I got shot running away in the middle of the back, and that's the birthmark in the middle of my back. So this energy was being connected of my back wound to Nazi Germany. And I also saw a green man in a high collar or hood, which was coming up as an ET. And then 9/11 was being connected to this as well, to Nazi Germany. Very interesting. And again, I was the little boy in the pit, and the birds were my friends, right? Because I was still alive when they threw me in the pit. But the birds helped me keep focus on them, right? When I was feeling the pain. And again, the energy of being jammed, the waist being jammed into the back, which is the most fragile place at the body, right? At the waist, because that's where your rib cage is connected to your lower half only by muscles and your spine, which isn't supportive. And I was literally getting a cramp in my right rib cage at the start there as well, referencing that weakness on the masculine side, being imprisoned and shot in the back, and then reactivated with my fall at work, which caused a jam. And again, the J-am is also coming up of that connection with Jesus, and is, right? That connection of the angelic human. And so the day I got hurt was 12/10/2013, which adds to 28, which is that twin flame energy, the Two of Wands, the Digamma all on the 11th, which was that next day I was going into. And what else was coming up there? It was like the arrow pointing to the war wound, the birthmark. And I also have a heart on my left hip, which my daughter has on her right hip that match, which is really cool. That was coming up as well. So again, pay attention to your birthmarks because they have to do with wounds in a past life. I know my son, I knew from a very young age when he was a baby that he died in the war in his last life before this one. And he has a birthmark on the back of his calf, a big one. And then he's got like shrapnel wounds under his hairline at the back of his neck as well. So pay attention to your birthmarks and, feel into them to see what they're from so you can release that energy. And there's something about the SI joints that came up regarding Sophia and Jesus, which ultimately references the Jesus Mary Magdalene energy, but this is more of the mother and son energy there. And speaking of the mother and son energies was coming up because I've seen a lot of death energies with my son. Like we've been together when we died. We jumped off a ship together. we were probably in that Nazi war camp together. So again, feel into those energies of your birthmarks, the physical body, what it's showing you. And again, that next morning was when I got up feeling great, singing and dancing on the deck to the sun with Beyond the Universe, with my posting of Beyond the Universe that morning. And it was such a beautiful energy. It was so heart lifting. And then the sun just started flickering and flickering and flickering. It was the only spot in the sky that was open, was where the sun was shining through. It was so cool. And the birds were flying back and forth in harmony. Like first I saw 2 birds fly overhead, but I was so enthralled by the sun, I didn't get it captured on my camera. First 2 birds flew north, and then 4 birds flew south, but they were in such peace and harmony. But the sun was flickering at me like for a full minute or two. It wasn't just a second. It was so cool. And then there were more. As I finished being outside, a whole flock of birds just flew over our head. I was out there with Teddy. And yeah, and then right after that is when I listened to Sam's video about the comets. So I did the meditation on the lawn with my daughter. Again, it was 1:11 to 1:55. It just ended up happened to be. So again, I wanted to go into my right waist to try to clear that injury. And so yesterday I had done some more of that meditation. When we get there, I'll tell you about that. So again, that first light that he was reporting on, the green light, was from Turkey, but there was, reports from the United States as well after that. So going from September 1st through that whole week were reports of seeing the comet. And it was at night in Turkey. It was like 9:30. Let's see here. And then in the United States, it was being seen, it was actually disintegrated. It was reported to be disintegrated in PA over Gratstown and being reported as bright as a quarter of the moon. And it was the same kind of energy. These streaks that they saw in the sky was the same thing I saw in the clouds. So it was very cool. But anyway, they're talking about the comet. The New York Post on 9/9 said, newly discovered green comet will be making a big debut next week before disappearing for the next 4 centuries. Closest to the Earth on the 12th, and that's right about when I was saw this streak. Looked northeast, but was I looking northeast? It was a little bit northeast, yeah. About 90 minutes before dawn, above the horizon in Leo, but this was at night for me. But comet ZTF was coming up, 12/19/22, which was also seen in January, February. So a lot of these kind of reports were out there. And I pulled a couple tea leaves after that, asking about that. Is it a comet or a ship? And I was getting that news, birds are flying, and then news was on its way that you will be taken care of regarding family matters. And again, there's that energy of them watching over us. So, all right. So here is the message of the day, the next one. All right. So at the top we have the Journey of Love, and then we have the Metatron deck, and then we have Shaman deck, and then Nature's Whispers, and then the Rider-Waite at the bottom there. On the left is the underlying energies, 3 cards pulled out, and then the extra cards that wanted to come out, organically come out at the end, and I used them for numerology and to finish off the read. So this one was at 3, 28, 29, 30, 32, and 33 on 9/11. All right, so I specifically wanted to do that meditation with my daughter out on the front lawn to help clear some of the energies around 9/11, because I knew the collective would be kind kind of sour this weekend because of the 11th. And the piles at the end of the decks came out 13111 and 245321. Transition to co-create, the Queen of Wands, freedom, and 321 jump. So the count down to jump as opposed to the count up to jump. 313 also references the 13 and 31 of life and death and chaos, aligning to, so it's control and chaos, or death and life, to align to the lambda or lambda father leap, the Knight of Swords to the one, or around the world, or the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords and their world being complete here. The masculine pillars escorting the Empress or Mother Nature, the planet, to co-create, with Omega, Pleiadians, and the Messenger of Truth, too. So again, it's like their ships escorting our planet, which is really cool, but also escorting the moon, as a lot of people are going to the moon right now, right? So we have 343, the underlying energy of the 56 and the dance of the planets, 16 of gold, 7 of the covenant, 6 of the big picture, and 7 of swords, which is 61. The 2 of swords and 2 in their knowing, hand in hand, walking through the chaos and the vortex, unaffected, with love as their guide. Sudden gold of the Holy Grail, the spiral of the aqua rose gold mother's heart, to the ancient one, through the portal and tunneling effect. The Holy Grail is the holy, and the light just brightened again, the holy God's rail, and the holy with a W, calm union, the communion. The hole at the Y in the road, God's rail, and the whole, complete, calm, peaceful union. At the 5D stationing. I keep getting that energy too, that they are stationed above us. They're locking us into 5D, but also the 4th density, okay? The Emerald City, with the scroll of sacred covenant, the vehicle of ascension, an unwritten key of invisibility. Peace of mind of the epiphany and the boomerang, the gamma ray key, the lover's healing to root the flower, right? Healing to the root to flower the crown, to see the big picture and take a risk. As the card 61 is leaving, or stole the magician's thoughts or tools, or ran from their manipulations and or insecurities or lack of security measures. At 353 is the Empress and the Knight of Swords, the underlying energy of the 10, 3 to 1, and the 56, sorry, it's still blurry there. The 56 of the Dance of the Planets, after the 30 of Towering Magnificence, and the 35 of Intimacy. Is that what that is? Yeah. The 12 of Wise Self-Initiation to the Mighty Sentinels, the 35 Wounded Warrior surrenders to the intimacy in the vortex at the drive-in movie, or unseen and seen. Destined 3 to 1, collapsing in the tunnel, and then making their grand entrance to dance. On the screen, projected larger than life, and then underground, still, and 2 to 3 alone. Or the peanut gallery. They didn't realize we're actually there observing, and told to get a room, so hand in hand they left the field to clear their energy and have peace of mind. The 64 of sensual awakening, the 69 of contemplation, the 25 of seed of the heart, and the bliss of the 698 pod, the 2 peas in a pod, left with a seed or question in the heart, contemplating their desires, their heart's desire, as the 14 of that higher love and the falling angel, light as a feather, to accept the truth of the enchanted forest, of patience for the truth to be said, not trying to pull them out before they're ready to be said, at 405, which is the Emperor and the Hierophant energies, or stability and freedom in the dance between the two. The underlying energy of the 32 and the Tree of Life, the 8 of leadership and the 40 of evolution here, the 52 of priorities, that's the Queen of Swords, and the 16 of gold, of orange to gold, from root to tip, the dance of the flame, and 3 keys of alchemy, and leadership to answer the call. The Page of Cups, and the evolution of the Ev, which is the royal house, the Olu, which is the essence or existence, the leader, nap, the hero, mushroom, pumpkin, right? So the holy house of these energies, and the Tyon, the evolution. Tyon is the tiger-lioness connection, or TION, which is source light on. The house of the tiger and lioness in the pumpkin patch, the mushroom, the leader's essence taking a nap, and Lucy, right? So Lucy in the sky with diamonds, and the L of the lambda UC at the Y in the road, waking them up. What the heck do you think you're doing, Charlie Brown? In the journey of sweethearts, and the 52 of the Queen of Swords, Big Bird, with priorities here, and rainbow support structure, climbing the stairs through the heart chamber, and then whee through the rainbow on golden wings to infinity and beyond with Buzz Lightyear. BUZZ, napping or not, the Page of Cups and the Queen of Swords with sudden gold, or Lady Liberty's children going to the Olympic Games. And then I was getting the OG from Olympic Games, and then I was getting Godspell, and oh God, I'm dying. So anyways, it goes from I'm dying, I'm dead. Oh God, I'm dying. And then I was getting the breathing of life into the gold cup, the ultimate cup of love light, of epiphany and sudden events, the holy communion dropped in the Holy Grail, again like taking communion, so tunneling through to the other side, flipped inside out, as the crown is blown wide open. And the word OPECI came up, which means to burn out. I'm getting capiche as well, but also Copy. So my maiden name is Cope, and my brothers were always called Copy in sports, but OPECI switched around as COPEI. But it means to burn out, and I was getting capiche, and like two cups and a string between them, like, that phone line, with a hole in the bottom of the cup in order to communicate to the other. And there's a bigger hole on top, which is the opening of the cup. So if you string them up by their root, it's kind of like flipping your sneakers over your shoulder. What goes in your mouth and out your butt goes into their butt, up to their mouth, a direct connect. The 49 of the family satisfaction, of meet and greet at dawn. The 19 of fire, of the sun and the dragon's strength, with a fire in their belly, of the pyramid, the pyra, in the midsection. The dragon's breath, too, the sun. 2 peas in a pod, of fire and water, and the dolphins, the vehicle of emotional well-being. The icosahedron, where icosa means I matter, and water, activated by the sun's light. Through the water, and not used to source direct, right? Used to getting that straight source light through the water, right? Your body's mostly water. Not used to it when you're dehydrated or when you're out of water, perhaps. With Scorpio, Leo, and Cancer here, and Pisces and Sag, perhaps, as the 29 of the blue mother, the blue Madonna present, to the star, seriously aligned with daughter star. I was just getting the dog star, which is the white planet of Sirius, and the indigo wishing upon it. Oh, that's so cute, right? Because there's 3 planets in Sirius, so it's like the Sirius mother with the dog star, right, the dog, and then the other Sirius planet being the daughter. The gift of the world in shades of blues and purples under the tree of 2 sides, locked at the roots and coming back together, top down. As the 43 of the Knight of Swords and the key to freedom at the root, the 24, which is Omega and enlightenment, of the Queen of Wands in orange energy, stretching up to connect and attune and release excess fire energies. As mother gifts the world to the child, the tree is the messenger of truth, with the Pleiadian fire running through them at 444, which is the angelic realms. Sirius, Lyran, Andromeda, Arcturian, and Pleiadian energies all coming up as the underlying energies after the winter's dream becomes a perfect storm of the 44 and the 21 of the first breath of the beginner's mind. So after the energy of the 63, which is harsh energy of the winter's dream, and the 44 of Hercules and her harvest in a perfect storm in the spring, the 21 of the first breath of the beginner's mind, and the 51 of the King of Swords and stars in the sky with limitless possibilities. And the 21 and 51 equals 72 of that 4 of Pentacles, which in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the Divine Masculine in the Batcave. As the 60 of the Watchers, the Tiger Lioness totems of peace, and the 38 of the Queen of Cups, authentic self, the 19 of the Falling Angel, as the 3 of Mother Nature and Empress is the benefactor of grace and generosity right here, who are watching them from the mushroom. All right, so you have the two profound couples in the deck are the Tyon in the desert, piggyback style of the totem, and then the 2 sitting in the mushroom, right? More of a watery energy as opposed to the desert fire. With the Chariot Sacred Covenant waiting to be written at 450, which is the Emperor and the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment of God, basically, as the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, Taurus and Cancer, or 3 keys and unconditional love. The 39, 52, and 12 then come up of the Metox, straddling worlds, and the Dragon's Horde. The Knight of Cups shaman taking a bath, as the Queen of Swords Zulu was coming up, wandering between realms, as Little Dragon hangs out to protect the future. The King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups here with the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Swords, Cancer and Pisces and the air signs, as the 34 of Wands horseman, the heralding of changes, with good news of union, and 43, 55, and 59, which is the coming together in joy, and the truth, post-inner war of overwhelm, and the farther gate, the crack in the wall of the Taj Mahal, the double gates and the double suns in the wailing tree of reconciliations. Finding a way out of the tree, and I was just getting, if I ever get out of here, gonna give it all away. All right, so in the wailing tree of reconciliations and finding a way out of there, finding a way out of the tree, post-war with PTSD, and detoxing with the dust devil, right? Kind of whipping things up to move you out of stagnation, which then I took a walk with Teddy. So at 6:07, the underlying energy was 42. 6 is the Lovers, 7 is the Chariot. The underlying energy of the 42, 2 of Cups, to let love be your beacon. The 20 of the higher ground, the 29 of contemplation, and 44 of seeking beauty. The 50 of the potential gateway, and 11 of making a decision. The 6 of the big picture, and the 42 of the 2 of Cups, in orange and blushing. The 20 of the giant rose with the little fairy. I wish, I wonder. Butterfly in the lion's heart, gift contemplated, and the 44 seeking beauty in her harvest, with attentive dear one and blowing out candles, as my birthday approaches, which is just a reference for the Divine Feminine Collective. The 50 of the potential gateway of the 10 of Cups in the magic tree, the 10 of Cups of the happy family, the 11 of making a decision of truth and balance, and the 6 of lovers healing the root to open the crown. And again, there was that energy of me and Jen that day at the tree, aligning with the big picture to heal the world. The 3 of celebrating differences, the 7 of the amplifying of your positive emotions, of the unicorn and the dolphin, where the land meets sea, as the little chariot creates ripples amongst the ancient ones. And again, here's this energy of mother and daughter, and it can be father and son as well, but is that feminine energy of the father and son. The 27 of the Ace of Wands and the 8 and the maintaining of your childlike spirit at 6:29, which is the lovers and being present in the moment. The 3 and the 7 again coming up separately as the Empress and the little chariot, or mother and child, with new passion here to be childlike, or through the winter being childlike in play, right? Where we're normally childlike when it's nice out, but when it gets cold, they want you to continue that childlike play. The 2 of illumination of the butterfly spirit, to the moon, helping her gain her independence. And again, the Mother Earth with the core is her womb, which becomes the child. And again, the daughter moon then gains her independence. The 12 of expansion, the 38 of acceptance of love. Before she fades away, he pulls her in with the help of a little dear one, hanging out to expand hand in hand, to accept this acceptance of love, of the tree and the ivy, right, which then grow together as the ivy wraps around the tree. Let's make a deal and bridge our mountains. with Gemini, Taurus, Cancer, and Pisces right there. The underlying energy at 638 and the Lovers and the Queen of Cups as she gets a contract for a big picture or movie. As the Knight of Wands is upright, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Eight of Pentacles reversed with the Hierophant reversed, the Nine of Cups reversed, and the Page of Swords reversed. As the Nine of Wands rushes back, while investment grows, with a lot of work and not working out, or debt growing in divorce or a break in contract, or opting out of school, dissatisfied with a negative message, or really immature children or communication. As Saggy is upright with Taurus reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles upright who offers help to the one who's not sleeping or destined to school the goose. Keep the golden goose in check as Taurus reversed and Libra upright, now the worst is over, with the Queen of Pentacles, with Capricorn in their chart, or detoxing the Ten of Cups unhappy family, or ending of an emotional cycle, of a deceptive family perhaps, or not happy to get up really, really early, as the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Cups are upright, or the Queen of Pentacles upright with Capricorn and Cancer in their chart, with the Page of Wands reversed who's frustrated or scared, or all over the place, perhaps tired or sick, or the Knight of Cups upright offers love in a storm to the Empress reversed, or heartbroken and separated Empress reversed in sudden event, or with sudden changes and all must go, or I was just getting fight or flight, or this could be a fight and the Empress reversed may have kicked the Queen of Cups reversed out, who's very sad, or Scorpio sends their love but depressed, which makes the Empress reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed sad. Or the Queen of Cups reversed may be drained or sick or tired, crazy kids in the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunctional family. This could be a community or business as well. Perhaps losing patience or fallen angel hanging out. Leo and Saggy both reversed, but Pisces and Capricorn is upright, perhaps working together after a falling out, or the past returns with negative memories. The Sovereign Nine of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords reversed perhaps had words and moved on, as the Six of Wands is with death, with good news and victory for dark night and secret passion for the Page of Cups, or Scorpio with Pisces in their chart, and the Page of Cups ending conflict, or losing a battle to find peace, with a car trip and no movement, and that could be car issues as well. And a break up, a breakdown. I'm still waiting. I had to take my car in for electrical issues. It's still running okay. But it took 3 weeks just to get an appointment to the dealer because I couldn't get it fixed at a regular place. So there's this energy of a break up, a break down, break in, out, or through, or Cancer and Aquarius both reversed, needing to swallow their pride and may be very on guard here. As the Wounded Warrior is upright, looking back at tripping up or dropping the ball, or perhaps looking back or going back to breaking patterns or dropping the facade or dropping the act, with the Hermit shedding light on it. Presenting the truth may be very triggering, but truth without love and then pushed to the limit, overwhelming the star, the dream girl, or the bird taking off, perhaps bored or disillusioned, as the King of Swords is upright and the King of Cups as well, in a heated exchange, which could be a positive one there because they're both upright, perhaps delays of new information, of recovery or reopening, clarity about getting them in, coming out of exile or hospital, or taking a walk and going within, or left after an ultimatum or before an ultimatum, or withholding time, money, and effort, playing hardball, perhaps hired a PI, or pulling in the wrong type of energy here. Could be someone locked another out, or someone got locked out, or running from their insecurities, or tools, or ideas that got stolen. With the Magician reversed, or stealing back from the Magician reversed what was stolen from them in the first place, what was coming up. Maybe somebody owed somebody money too, and then someone, and that could be that, robbery stuff that was coming up earlier. Perhaps on break, rest, or meditating in a 5D connection at a distance, or Magician reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. Maybe they don't see eye to eye, or waiting for them to leave so they don't see what they want to do. As the Queen of Wands reversed is released, the Page of Pentacles reversed or released and in need of help, needing courage to deal with the Emperor upright, burdened, or working too hard, or too much weight, perhaps drinking too much, or bad influences, or doesn't feel like getting together. as the King of Pentacles reversed is unstable and unbalanced, not sharing, or perhaps they're hoarding or stashing funds, perhaps a kid in a candy store with the world upside down but the lovers upright or almost there, or a lot of choices to make but not much money to spend, floating coin and unknowns, or ghosted neighbor or lover, or Gemini perhaps, at war and cutting them off, or Gemini set on humiliating them, with Pisces and Aries both reversed, or Gemini lacking love and faith and tripping themselves up, as the Knight of Swords reversed with verbal abuse when confronted with injustice, defenseless too, with Gemini and Libra both reversed, perhaps an unjust offer that's too good to refuse, defenseless to the King of Wands upright, who saw what they did, or took or stole or got away with it, or are they watching the Knight of Wands upright run back to get something that they forgot? And this could be like a father sending their kid or a messenger to go get something that they needed. And that was at 723, which is the Chariot and the King of Wands. So again, the King of Wands coming up as learning how to control his passions this year. And there you have the Chariot there too. And it was coming up as a break, the Chariot reversed. So if the King of Wands doesn't learn to balance their passions, he's going to get knocked off his horse. And it could be really severe at this point. So this is where, unusual things might happen. And they're wake-up calls. That's all they are wake-up calls, because you didn't listen the first time. That's what's coming up. At 11:14, emotional attachments, perhaps. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong page. So here's that next message of the day. All right, and this one starts with that first one is the Fortune's Oracle. And then I have it's two decks combined right there, is the Lenormand, Reverie, and the Kipper decks together. And then I have the Wild Unknown guidebook there with the animals, and then the Rider-Waite at the bottom. Okay. So this one was done on the 12th from 8:48 to 51. And the piles at the end came out to 1111, which the first entry in Gematria is twin flames, and then 14132. The twin flames on that 141 journey, which references the 14 and the 41 of the All for One and One for All, and the 14 of the Temperance card, and the 41 of the Ace of Cups, which both are beautiful energies there, which is, it's polarizing towards the middle, right? So the closer you are in a balanced way to the middle, the less polarity you see. And that's this energy of the Ace of Cups and the Temperance card. When they're at their best energies, they're really that one energy of love and that higher love coming together. So the underlying energy of 26 and the plane, the 141 journey and one loved by mother and sister also coming up here. The 26 of the plane, the 3 of marriage, the frog, and the 5 of cups reversed. And 5 of cups is 45. The Page of Wands takes off for destination wedding perhaps, or frog left in the rain to get over the loss, regret of the past. And the underlying energy at 9:10, which is the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune, is the 15 of the key, the 23 of the owl, and the 26 of the plane. The key to leave the past behind, the King of Wands wise in transition as the Page of Wands takes off. That could be his own inspiration though as well. Beware with the 3 of the jungle, or nature spying, as the 33 unicorns are reflecting and standing up for themselves. The 8 of the dragonfly dances 2 as 1, and is coming up as 26 and 8 on either side of each other, which is the way you'd write 26, would be 26/8, and 333 was in the middle between them. And it's like the bird flying from the 26 of the Page of Wands to dance on the other side. The 14 of the Temperance card of Judgment and the open book test, and the light just flickered. Finding the answer, I was just getting the answer key. At 9:28, the Hermit and the Twin Flames, the underlying energy of the 23 of the King of Wands and the Courthouse. So again, if he hasn't learned to master his passions, perhaps he's in court for one reason or another. the 8 of the 9 of Pentacles and Dr. Jekyll and the Tomb, which is that Jekyll and Hyde type of energy, but it really has to do with death right there, which is always life and death, right, and rebirth, because they go hand in hand. The 10 of the Journey on the train, the 3 of the Marriage, at the courthouse to become single or deal with a death perhaps, in the dance between Jekyll and Hyde, or Jacqueline and Tomb here, the destined journey to marry the Empress. Leo, Libra, and Taurus there, where the first next card is the 20 of a public event or gardens, and the 8 of Swords prison, allergies, histamine release, or anxieties here. So someone has a histamine attack. Maybe you're feeling that on the other end, which is extreme anxiety, right? The 7 of a message, an envelope with a seal broken. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior, perhaps who cut anchor with the 9 of Swords nightmare to get free from the storm. The 24 of the Queen of Wands, thief, and the 8 of the false person. Watch out for Leo or Sag or both. This would be a deceiving couple traveling together. And the Knight of Wands with a new passion to cruise or travel. Bliss or end pain with the Empress or Taurus, and Aquarius and Cancer here too. Perhaps sending out wedding invitations. And the Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands could be trying to take the Empress's money, which is really interesting because another read I had done this week, the Empress was smack in the middle of the King and Queen of Wands, who could be her children, right, staying very close to her so nobody else gets her stuff but them. That kind of energy is coming up here. At 9:37 is the Hermit and the King of Cups, the underlying energy of the shark, and then the whale, and then the Black Panther, the owl, the eagle, the dragon, the tarantula, and the frog. As the whale is attacked from both sides here with the shark and the panther, as the Queen of Wands reversed observes, or excuse me, the owl observes, and the owl has been coming up as the King of Wands. It could be the Queen of Wands there too, or maybe he's in his feminine energy. As the eagle dives, as the dragon watches all, from the solar plexus, boundaries are needed for the frog in the rain. The wise E.A. Glee, which could be Ea, but that's also Elizabeth April's tag. And emotional attachments comes up with E.A., and that's Eve and Adam as well. Diving in about the all-seeing eye, a disparaging word about the weather manipulation, which was funny because on Instagram, Elizabeth April I had just seen a weather manipulation report from her. So, and again, harp was coming up on her report there. And again, with the card, the frog in the rain. The drag on the dragon coming up is the drag on the throne, which is the high road of 1. On Tara, all right, maybe that's specifically referencing the south for Tara. And 2 angels and the frog. The hyena, the firefly with fleeting inspiration about news or lies. The snake in the collective awakening, all about the lamb, the targeted sheep, and the underlying energy of the star King of Wands reversed, again, not balancing his passions, perhaps with Taurus in their chart, which can reference stubbornness, or going through a divorce, or breaking contract, losing battle, working, aligning, or getting their ducks in a row, or quote-unquote sitting ducks was coming up. With the 10 of Cups upright, to free self from the 10 of Swords pain, or a pain in the ass, the Wounded Warrior, 9 of Wands, and the King of Swords reversed with the Queen of Wands upright. Awakening and keeping to self, or pretending not to know, taming the beast, or perhaps the pet. As Aries and Leo are upright, but Sagittarius here is reversed. But the Queen of Wands could have a big ego here, and be expecting pampering. Perhaps releasing a pet, Leo, ego, or someone let the pet free, or perhaps let them out on purpose, or Leo not telling and walking away from not having a choice, but to pay for wrongdoing of the Queen of Cups reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. This could be 2 grown children who did something bad, or perhaps have to pay for their pain and suffering. As the Knight of Wands rushes in to save the day, the Magician upright, Gemini or Virgo, and the Queen of Swords reversed, with High Priestess, Sister, Aid, or Nurse, Pisces or Virgo upright, and Saggy upright here. Patient angels receiving the Ace of Cups love from the 7 of Pentacles reversed, which can be a divine feminine coming out, investing in a home or union or celebration, needing peace for or with the King of Cups reversed, with the Seven of Cups reversed and the Six of Wands reversed. Perhaps his dreams were dashed or failed, dumping multiple loads or attachments to failure or neediness or bad influences, gossips, drinkers, partiers, and third-party interference, as the Five of Pentacles reversed may be recovering or being let back in with issues at work in the past and looking back at arrogance or pulling the wizard's curtain back, right? Exposing his arrogance, right? That he's just a man. And now Mary Magdalene's coming up in the song, I Don't Know How to Love Him, right? He's just a man. And I've had so many men before. That's a line from the song. I don't know how to love him. So at 10:15 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil, or shadow side. The Knight of Cups, and tomorrow's the 15th as well. The Knight of Cups upright here with the Hermit reversed, coming out about their 5D connection or intervention to come out of isolation, to meditate, to heal everyone, to forgive and apologize, getting over loss, regret, and the past. With Justice and Libra upright and the Chariot and Cancer reversed, along with the Moon reversed, which is Cancer as well. And that could be someone's Cancer has gone. It's cancer-free. That's the message I was getting. You may not see it that way, but that's the message I got. Justice served to stop deception, or stuck getting up early or at the new moon energies now, today, 9:14, or can't move forward until this new moon, which is today. The Two of Pentacles, performer or juggler, an announcement or announcing frustrations of the Ten of Pentacles, upright, family, business, or community of wealth, and Galactic Federation of Worlds was coming up right there. Perhaps being apathetic to our cause, which is funny because Elizabeth April was posting a frustration of hers that sometimes she gets really mad at the GFW because they're not intervening, because they can't. It's not the right thing to do. So the King of Pentacles reversed may be ungrounded or without grounds. We must wake up our people. As the King of Pentacles reversed is burdened in a breakup with the Six of Cups reversed, children or past soul tie and a falling out, and the Knight of Pentacles upright may be offering help to the Devil or a Capricorn, or tempted to hoard or hold on to things. Or maybe he's keeping his cards close, or she is. Or the Knight of Pentacles offering to partner, or Gemini and is reversed with Capricorn upright to sit down together and hash it out, with Capricorn raising questions of being cheated, lied to, scammed, or the Empress reversed and Emperor reversed with the Page of Pentacles reversed, who got scammed, maybe all three of them, partnering with the Devil, right? They all scam themselves by falling into temptation. As the Empress, Emperor, and Page of Pentacles are all reversed, and the Nine of Pentacles, Sovereign, is upright, clinging to the truth, or presented, perhaps about a death or ending, or a near-death experience here. The Page of Wands reversed, at war with constant back and forth, with one standing up for themselves, to out-of-control kids or pets are getting burned, overexposed, or too hot to handle, with the Tower event draining, blowing their top, their crown, their cover, their mind, or suddenly known around the world and or the neighborhood. With Leo reversed, Scorpio upright, and Pisces upright, perhaps not sharing with the Page of Swords reversed, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the Page of Cups reversed, or lots of negative messages here destined to school the golden goose or keep them in check if messages aren't replied to on time, or these kids destined to be put in their place, perhaps by Libra or strict teacher, or good at handling out-of-control kids or pets. I was just getting Mother Goose coming up too. But Mother Nature's justice and shape-shifting was coming up here. And again, Elizabeth April was talking about the planets shift as well, that it's natural. What was she talking about? She was talking about that they're calling it, the planetary warming, because they can be seen as fixing that problem. They can't be seen as fixing the natural shift, which is actually the cause of the earthquakes and the storms and all that kind of stuff, right? Not all of them, because they are doing weather manipulation. So they're doing both, and we're also responsible for taking care of the planet. So there's a lot of different factors involved there. But the shifting planet was coming up, as well as Mother Nature's shifty ways and justice. The shifting planet as the unicorns rip off the Band-Aid. And I was just getting, what was it called? Not World Aid, but the musicians all coming together was coming up as Band-Aid. So as the unicorns rip off the Band-Aid or break the seal to bring the bright light in sparks all over the world, so little sparks all over the world like the twin flames coming into union, to awaken those stuck with a beautiful mind, two as one, to surrender wounds and cut anchor, to join the collective at the new moon, exposing publicly thieves and false people, targeting our children and the innocent. Time to take back our power, calling out our frustrations, to transmute them into something beautiful, to receive love and let go of our need to control everything at 1041, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups. Okay, so let me just see what else I needed to tell you about here. So what was I looking up? I was looking up, I was looking up my elementary school because that was coming up. All right. So in one of my Instagrams, I posted, came up, washing our mouth out with soap, right? Because this is a wound maybe you haven't looked at yet, right? So you may have a big trigger around soaps, or you may have an allergic reaction to soaps because you got your mouth washed out with soap. But it was bringing up the two energies, right? The kid who talked all the time and got their mouth washed out with soap. And then my example was, that came up in my Instagram, was my first and second grade teacher. She was the same. She was, she was not a nice woman. And I was very shy. I didn't cause any problems because I was scared, because my mother was very heavy-handed when I was young. And so she called me up to her desk one day and had me turn around and put a screwed up pipe cleaner on my dress as a pig's tail. I have no idea to this day why she did that. She was usually, her target was, the kids who were acting up and being bad or stealing things from her desk, but they were stealing stuff from her desk because they didn't like her because she wasn't nice. She used to pull people's ears when they would leave on vacation. I know I peed under my desk because she wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And I probably had to go to the bathroom all the time because I needed to get away from her because she scared me. But anyway, those energies were coming up. And so I'm bringing that up because I looked up my elementary school, because it's not there anymore. It's a library now. But there's a lot of trauma around that elementary school. I learned that my best friend died at that time. And just, walking up the steps at school that morning from the other kids and being told that she died of chickenpox. And there's a wound, right? A kid being told that they can die of chickenpox. So there's a lot of stuff coming up regarding that. But when I looked up my elementary school, a couple other things came up. One of which was Linwood Mansion, which is this huge estate that's across from my post office that hasn't been touched apparently since 1943. I didn't know it was that long. But they have, it's just all overgrown, and, there's another mansion across the street. So it was Widener who owned this property. It's one of the largest personal residences in the country. And he was partnered with Elkins. And so they have these two mansions, across the street from each other. The other one's fine. It's been fixed up. It's actually been used in movies and things like that. And I couldn't find the movie that was filmed there either. I know it was filmed there because I drove by it when they were filming it to see if we could see anybody. But I couldn't find it anywhere. They must have had some kind of contract where they weren't allowed to tell anyone that they filmed there. But I looked into that article that came up because it came up with my elementary school. And apparently they're finally starting renovations. They're trying to collect investors, I guess, to renovate the place. Apparently it's one of the last gilded personal residences of that size in the United States. And they want to save all that stuff and teach people how all these things were done, right? Because we're losing a lot of those trade skills. You can't find someone who takes pride in their work anymore. It's really hard to find people to even come to your house anymore to do the work. So they want to restore this place and have it a place not only for artwork, like a museum to come and see, but also to have classes and teach people how to do these trades so they don't lose these skills that were used so long ago, which we don't find time for so much anymore. So anyway, Widener had made his money initially from, he got a contract for mutton for the Union troops back in the war. But he was a son of a Philadelphia butcher. You know, he didn't come from money. It's Peter Arell Brown with an E on the end, Widener, and the Linwooded Mansion. And again, he was partners with William Elkins, which the area is Elkins Park, but they were business partners. So it wasn't just mutton. He ended up getting into the trolleys and then trains, obviously, and then he was in tobacco as well. So, I mean, he got into politics and all that kind of stuff. So that's what made it. Anyway, he's one of the 40 richest in American history. It was worth like $23 billion, something like that. So that came up on the page of my elementary school. But also another message that came up was a graveyard that nobody realized next to one of our elementary schools is a Ukrainian Nazi graveyard. And the statue that's there, which is what they were upset about, it looks like a Celtic cross type of statue, but again, it has to do with the 14th Division, the Waffen Grenadier Division of SS, next to one of the elementary schools. I don't know which one it is, though. But the Ukrainians say that this group of the Nazis were actually freedom fighters trying to rise up from within against Russia, their oppressors. So it's interesting diversity. So we'll see what happens with all that. But just so you know, that kind of energy was coming up. What else here? Oh, so yesterday, St. Francis of Assisi came up in my Instagram messages and my pictures. So one of my cloud pictures looked like, you know, a pope. So St. Francis versus St. Francis of Assisi were coming up. And I was actually in St. Francis of Assisi in Italy before the earthquakes that destroyed it. And it's been rebuilt since then in the next 2 years after. And the earthquakes happened in 1997. I'm not sure exactly what year I was there, somewhere between 84 and 87, around there. But there were 2 quick quakes that hit it. So, and I put this in my Instagram as well because I was there with my first husband. I've been married twice. And my first husband caused me to have a miscarriage. And then I married my second husband and had my children with him. But when we were in, he's Italian, and we were in St. Francis of Assisi. And we were in a backroom mass with a blue-eyed, brown-eyed monk and 2 girls sitting cross-legged on the floor praying. And so it was very spiritual, very beautiful. And I wasn't raised religiously. And of course, he was Italian. They're all Catholic. But they're much more relaxed in Italy regarding their Catholicism because there's no competition. They're all Catholic. So, you know, I'd met his priest before, and his priest gave me a Vatican coin, and he was very nice to me. He said, "Do you go to synagogue?" And I said, "No," because we weren't raised religious. And he's like, "Well, go to synagogue." You know, he was very nice. But when we went to the backroom mass, you know, we're alone in a room with a monk, and he's telling the monk that I'm a Jew, like to try to get the monk to tell me that it's better to be Catholic. And the monk basically, he didn't roll his eyes, but it was kind of that expression on his face. It was really funny. But I was very young at the time. I was only like 23, 24 years old, maybe 25. And for me, this was a very spiritual moment. You know, you could just feel the energy. And I didn't understand why people took communion when they hadn't confessed, because isn't that the way it's supposed to be, right, in the Catholic religion? And I knew my husband hadn't confessed, that's for sure, and he needed to confess for sure because he was very abusive. And so when the wine came around, I just broke into tears because I couldn't drink it. So it was a very profound moment. But I was very happy that the monk actually, you know, made light of his statement, because it was such an ego thing to do, which was the point. So when I was meditating, this all was coming up again yesterday because I had gone to get my license picture, and this extreme fear came up in me. And I know I wasn't scared to get my picture taken, like I said before. So when I got home, I did a meditation, and I was seeing this, I don't know what the instrument is. It kind of looked like, you know how a sail, when it's in full sail, it's a C with the pole through it? That's what I was getting, but metal. And maybe I was getting a sale, I don't know. But it took me right to gymnastics because I did competitive gymnastics when I was young for 8 years. And I was seeing someone, swinging from the high bar, but I was seeing it side to side because it was this C with a pole running through it like an axle, holding like a metal C, and then holding onto that C and being swung around sideways like you'd swing a kid around the room if you took their hands. But I was seeing that, and it took me right into my gymnastics fears, which I'd never thought about because I loved doing gymnastics. It was the one thing in my childhood that I felt really proud of, right? Because I could do things that other people couldn't. And like I said, my mother was very heavy-handed when I was young, and I was the middle child. I was the one who cried, so I was her main target growing up. So I never thought anything negative about gymnastics, except for the fact, I didn't always fit in with everybody. I was more shy than the other girls, and I was the only one who had a belly. And, in gymnastics, it's all about the weight, and they all had flat bellies, and I would never have a flat belly because that's not the way I'm shaped. But this energy of gymnastics fears came up. So when you're learning to do gymnastics, you're learning to do a back handspring on the beam, right? Or a flip with no hands. And the fears you initially experience when you're learning to do those things, I never even thought about that stuff, let alone the injuries that happen. And the judgment, because you're being judged in competition as a little girl. And here are these mean-faced judges looking at you like, they hate you. And the fear that comes up in a little girl just having to experience these things, not only judges, but the men who were mostly the coaches back then, looking at you, seeing you, though. And then at camp, too, where I think when I was 15 at gymnastics camp, one of the coaches, when I was leaving and I got my car, he gave me a kiss before I got in the car, like without my parents being able to see because they were already in the car. And I don't think anything bad of him to this day because I thought he was a very nice person and he liked me. But, that would be seen as abuse today. And I didn't feel abused in any way. He didn't treat me badly while I was at camp. It was just that last moment when I left, he gave me a kiss goodbye. But there is this energy of potential abuse for sure. There's lots of abuse going on in these situations. And the energy of being paralyzed with fear combined with mother's fury. And then it took me back to I have a scar on my lip because I bit through my lip, but I don't remember my mom telling me what the situations were around that. Did I just fall and bit through my lip? But my mother attempted suicide when I was very young, at that age when I would have bit through my lip when she was pregnant with my sister. So there's a lot of wounding regarding that stuff coming up. And of course, I've looked at that energy before, but not through gymnastics, not through those kind of energies, and kind of looking through at these wounds that you've already looked at, perhaps through a new lens. And then the Nazi energy was coming in as well, and my back wounds. The fear of seeing your own death coming, right? How many times in past lives have we seen our death coming? Maybe we were having our head chopped off. That was coming up as well for speaking your truth. Being seen, and that circular metal thing could be literally that piece coming down and cutting your head off, right? The energy of the scythe, being seen or hiding from wild animals who will kill you. But that terrifying fear that you must not speak, right? You're hiding. So if you speak, that animal or that person will kill you. And also, you're not allowed to smile. Also came up. Don't smile like the judges, right? Or we'll see you as weak. With that C, also retainers came up. Mouth retainers for your braces. And I had my palate split, right? The wounding of that, of having your palate torn apart, literally. And again, like the guillotine and the cheese slicer came up with that as well. So I looked at the events of 9/13, and that's where St. Francis of Assisi came up, because one of the events of September 13th, yesterday, was his stigmata event. Some of the others that came up were the battle, but that was most significant to me, the Battle of Marignano, which was King Francis I, King of France. Their army defeats Swiss army force near Milan, and Pope Leo X was there. And it was funny because right after that one, an advertisement came up for Medicare giving free implants, talking about the devices in your mouth. Let's see. There's a grand assault on Gibraltar. by Allied French and Spanish fleets with floating batteries and land forces that was heavily defeated by the British garrison, 1473 casualties on their side and only 83 British casualties there. But anyway, you can look up 913 for the different events, but that's where that came up. 913-89 is when Archbishop Desmond Tutu leads the biggest anti-apartheid protest march in South Africa. And remember, the horse and the horseshoe are coming together here. Right? That the horseshoe is what protects, and it's also the horseshoe represents good luck. And January, February, March were coming up as really big months as well. And the fair man. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, and also Cain and Abel were coming up yesterday. It was interesting because in the tea leaves, it was coming up as Cain and disabled, right? Detached from the good brother Abel, right? And he was coming up as the apple of his eye, pining for the apple of his eye after being disconnected from his brother that, and you know, they were always at war. And the claw was coming up. The claw of the horse is the hoof and the horseshoe. And we used to play horseshoes at the beach when I was growing up. My parents used to get a house of August with my cousins. And boy, were there a lot of wars and wounds there too. They were all always trying to get us to fight with each other, my brothers and my cousins. And me and my sister are 2 years apart, and our cousin Amy was right in the middle of us. And the boys would try to get us, as she would always like one or the other of us, but not both of us at the same time. So that we'd always be 2 against 1, and the boys would get the girls all riled up to fight. So we definitely had a cat fight one year, and it wasn't my choice, but I was trying to defend myself. But this energy or split between Cain and Abel, and Cain now pining over the apple of his eye, a fair man, the Cain being the horse, and the fair man Abel being the shoe or the protector, right? So not the mean one or the tough one, but the good one is the actual protector. And it was coming up as the candied apple, the sugar on the outside, right? They're all sugary, and perhaps everyone loves them because they look all sugary, but the one that has the real nutrition is the apple. And then October, March was coming up. Oh, that's interesting. Right after I told you about the Tutu March, which was September 13th, into October perhaps it lasted. I don't know. Yeah, and again, promising a ringer, and again, horseshoes coming up. Did anyone get hit by a horseshoe growing up? To protect the feet. Defeat. Okay? The rat with the cane sets off fireworks in October with pineapple and 50 first dates willing to claw their way to be worthy horse on this short journey to get there. And then a lot of successful energy was coming up after that. So let me just pull a card from... Let's pull from the Fortune's Oracle to close things off here. It's 1:58 on the dot, or 1:58:01. And 58 is the Four of Swords, which for me is the 5D connection in meditation. And it's 1:53 on the clock there, which is the Magician and the King and the Knight of Swords. Which it could be a Gemini Knight of Swords as well. And here we had the 1 and 1 on either side of the 58 of the 5D union. The two magicians, which was also 1 and 2 of the masculine and feminine. All right, what is our closing statement here? Oh, somebody's in court. And here's the wish. Somebody's desires are ready to come true. And there's that heart all alit there, the bright light, the open book, the wish of the wounded warrior surrendering, right? Your heart is in their hands. And there's that luck with the horseshoe as well. The 19 of the sun with luck. You are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. All right, so we have, this is Saggy and Leo, which kept coming up in the read as well. Right, the surrender to the sun as your heart's desire is ready to come true. And this is like E.T.'s heart all lit up with good luck, because then their family comes in to get them. That's what I'm getting. Oh, and there's the love card. As dreams come true. Love surrounds all your connections. Move forward positively in all areas of your life. The bottom of the deck is the eagle, and the eagle keeps coming up as the horizontal pillar too. The 9 is the all and the 1, the wise one. This can represent God at times as well. And again, E is glee, so E is coming up again. And you will soar towards your destiny with greater clarity and strength. And again, the Rock of Gibraltar coming up here too with the eagle and the U.S. Troops coming in there. All right, and there's gold over here. The transition was yesterday. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. And there's very harsh energy that came up yesterday in the cards too, in the day's energies, because yesterday was the death card and the 3 of Wands came up, but the 3 of Swords I was guided to post. So check those postings out too. So anyway, gold, but this is also about achieving goals and going to the Olympics. There's a big transition this year. Okay, as we go towards, and he's going over the Spanish mountains, the Rock of Gibraltar, to get to France, which is where the Olympics are, the 33rd Olympics. Okay, so that's the underlying energy there. Interesting, as the twins coming together is being considered an Olympic event. Okay, beautiful. Okay, guys, remember your water, right? You need your water to be at your best, to use your intuitions and your psychic abilities to your best ability. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, and your nature. Get your feet out in the grass while it's still nice out, and rise and be loved. I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day. Breathe.